monitor your progress then. So that would possibly be areas that look into. Yeah. I think the other one said, can you work without professional bodies? I think we covered that a little bit. Yes, you can. Yes. But it helps to have standards and a benchmark for somebody to say, no, this is the standard. And then we can work from that. So that one. So I am linked to APM, but I have other professional bodies that I'm linked to that's more related to cost and risk. And I generally engage with them because I know people that are part of that. We go to seminars and things like that. So we learn through networks and events, general correspondence that comes through. It depends on the individuals that are managing that relationship, of course. So we have somebody in cost that's very good at this kind of stuff. So they're always bombarding you with emails. So you're always aware of things, you know. Yeah. So you might have another person that doesn't really do emails so much and gives you less things, and so it depends, I think, on individuals. I think one of the areas is about networking and interactions, and so I do interact with professional bodies. Yes. Why interact? One of the main things is to learn lessons. Now, if you're not learning lessons from people and their experience, then well, what good are you? You know, we need to take success stories. I'd love to have something like, so in the MBA, when I did the MBA, one of the most valuable things I found was that business cases, the lecturers would sometimes bring you a case saying, like, this is what Lucozade did, or this is what Nike did, this is what Nespresso did, you know, so they'll bring in case studies, real life events and circumstances, you know, and that is invaluable because, yes, okay, in hindsight, it's nice. We know what they did and what mistakes they made, but we've learned the lesson, right? So it's really useful to have real world examples. Yeah. And it really works for people like Harvard. I think most of the MBAs is case-based. So this is very, very useful because it's real stuff. And it gives meaning to knowledge that the APM body of knowledge, book of knowledge has within it. So you can then make it contextualized. So I think that's good in terms of learning lessons through interaction. So that's all great, but it's not monitored or measured. So I might speak to somebody and they'll say, oh, I did this. I did a workshop for this. Oh, that's a good idea. So, do you know what I mean? But it's only a conversation. It'd be nice if it was formalized in some shape. And I know it's a lot to do. But that's that. Did it help solve problems? Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you can't really discuss your projects because of confidentiality and sensitivity of information, right? So you can't really discuss details. When talking at the methodology level, it's always hard because it's getting a bit of an academic discussion now because you can't really go into the detail. And if you have complexities like people, so this person's a difficult character, and they're always opposing me, and they always want to do what they want to do. So, well, that's different, isn't it? That's not that's a people management issue now, and how you then go about dealing with that. So, each area has a personal, not personal, more of an individual challenge, I would say. So that would depend. What else was there? Would I ever seek higher level? Yeah, I wouldn't mind. It depends how much effort and time is required. If I can just turn them and say, here are my projects, go on then, interview me, then yeah, not a problem. Do I have a dependency on interactions? No, not really. It helps. I like to talk, as you can possibly imagine. But I enjoy interactions. I enjoy debates, things like that, because without them, it's what do you have? You've just got the APM book of knowledge, right, or whatever processes. I like to discuss things because it allows you to open the conversation up to new things where you may not expect them. And new things come from all sorts of people, you know. It doesn't have to come from experienced individuals. Sometimes you'll have a novice that turns up and says something and you think, geez, I didn't think of that. You know, so sometimes a lot of things happen at such a lower level. I'm not saying the lower level people, but sometimes when you're on the ground doing something different and speaking to maybe the production people, a project manager may not really speak to the production staff. You know, so sometimes having them involved give you a lot of different lessons, it's something you wouldn't even think of. I think so. What's changed since I was accredited? Nothing really. I've not really had any change, I would say. I mean, I personally have had a little development myself. I've learned a lot, but apart from that, nothing really changed, I would say. But because APM, the qualification I received is the lower level, if that makes sense. So it's the foundation. So you wouldn't really expect a substantial change. I think if I started climbing that ladder and got a level B, then I think it would turn, because that could be recognised, and there aren't many people like that have that. What else have we got here? Got that. I think our company is a corporate member of APM from when I last checked.
Yeah.
I think we covered that. Done that one, and what else is there? So just the last little bit. Yes, our company. So Rolls-Royce do encourage certifications. They do encourage you to develop your career with something that's recognised. And we have our particular area of the business has chosen APM as the body to accredit ourselves with through project management. There are obviously, of course, other areas if you want engineering or risk, cost, accountancy. So there are different, obviously, but for project management, they have chosen APM. And they are committed to it, to be honest. It is something that our people do recognise. I think that was it. I think generally what I would say is when I go to other bodies, professional bodies, say, for example, the estimating forum, sometimes we'll turn up and it's just a series of presentations, and their focal sometimes is networking and people just to get to know each other. And they do these presentations, and that's all good and well, but it doesn't really give you anything, So you might turn up and receive a presentation from somebody, oh yeah, we did this well, okay, but if you're not there running my project, I don't know what you did, So it's difficult. So having something established, like APM are well established, so they have their knowledge base, they have everything, they've got their book of knowledge and everything like that, so things are there. What I think it could do is real world examples. I don't know if they do this, so I am speaking in ignorance a little bit. So I don't know if they do this where we say, right, these are examples where this failed or this happened. So real world things, and to mark themselves on industry norms and practices to say, well, what works, what doesn't work. And I know that industry aren't the best people to have these conversations with because they don't give the time, but somehow we need to do that, because if we don't, then the body we're using as our accreditation or certification may go down a different path, So if we want them to succeed, then we need to help. I don't think they can do it on their own. And I know they are engaged with industry. I just don't know to what level.
I think it's a very shallow level.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. And then it needs to be more of an open conversation. And sometimes you can't have senior people talking all the time because they don't know, and they know their part of it, and their interpretations, but they don't understand the detail and the depth sometimes. They're too far removed. One of our directors once, at the same event that we had the APM senior member there, I can't remember his name now, but basically our director said, talking that, schedule is king. And that's fine, that's his perspective, but I wouldn't agree. For me, data is king. So I always look at data. Data tells you everything. Data will tell you behavior, schedule, everything. So data is the bottom line. And that will tell you what you need to know. And if you analyze that well, then you can make informed decisions based upon that. And for me, that's the key element. But again, it's one of them that they believe schedule is the most important thing. And it's one of them that they may have a different view, whereas I think the APM